Dude, my bracket is
Busted,
completely fucked. Yeah.
dude.
I had
My
Virginia in the like Elite Eight.
I had Sweet 16, dude. I was so mad. Yeah, I had them going Sweet 16, and then I had, let's see. I mean, I didn't even look. I just stopped. I picked the wrong like upset, like 3 of
Okay.
them. So, and I had them going like I didn't even care this year. Dude, I usually go to March Madness
Oh, you
in
do?
Vegas every
Somebody in
year,
the
man.
server went, right?
I'm sure they
Some guy
did, man.
Cody?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I won a 5-team parlay last year,
Oh shit.
and like I was like, I can't go this year because like I'm gonna mess with my Wojo or whatever, and so I didn't end up not going. But anyway, uh, yeah, Rumble's not working. That's fine. Uh,
It's tricky, man. Especially on
yeah,
the app. The app seems
it,
to kind of glitch.
it's kind of weird. What's going on, Captain Obvious?
What's up,
Thanks for
man?
joining. We got one live so far. Again, this is just kind of chill. Trying to get Ralph some more airtime on a different channel, and then obviously my co-host today. Actually, the co. I was like saying co-host. I have to say just like the guy on the other side or whatever. I think co-host is kind of a negative connotation because there's no host and co-host here. Ralph and I were just talking about NFT stuff and just kind of in the back room and what's going on, Richie. Um, Richie had a show earlier. He was talking about Punisher stuff. Are you done with your show already, Richie? Like I was gonna catch the rest of the show after this, but we're just doing a quick kind of CGC unboxing. If we get around 20 people live, I'll think of I'll probably give away something kind of fun and kind of nice. But yeah, like I said, Ralph and I were kind of off topic. We were talking about NFT stuff and just kind of the interesting things going on in the financial world and all of that. Ralph, what you were kind of talking about with Bitcoin
Hmm.
and Ethereum kind of possibly going up because of all the bank craziness going on lately.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, man.
and we're
It
not
just
recommending to buy anything or anything like that, but like
not
what
financial advice.
no, so we are not a financial advice show. What why do you think that is a more likely scenario than say like 4 months ago or whatever?
I just being involved in crypto and NFTs for the better part of the last almost 3 years now. It just,
Hmm.
there's when you're in it, you kind of look for trends and cycles. And that seems
Hmm.
to be the cycle. When money gets injected into the economy, when there's bailout money, that sort of thing,
Hmm.
crypto just seems to pump, and all that extra printed up money just seems to gravitate into crypto, not JPEGs, NFTs, that sort of thing. Like I was telling you, the joke on crypto Twitter is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and JPEGs as your
Yeah,
golden
yeah.
portfolio. So um, it's just a trend, and that's not to say that it's going to happen every single time, but more often than not, that's what I've noticed. So you just follow those trends.
It's really interesting. I was telling Ralph backstage, like I was a proponent or like an anti-crypto person, before back in the day when we have the office open and have like my coworker that, he just would talk about crypto and whatnot. And I think Bitcoin was like 1,200 or maybe it wasn't even that high.
Mm.
It was probably like 400 or 500, a share or whatever you want to call it. And I was like, man, this is like the weirdest thing ever. How do you like even buy it? It's like, it's for what is it, money laundering, like,
Yeah, that's the big one, right?
and yeah, and like what is it, a failed state, all that stuff. And then I left the bank and actually I went into wealth management for like a year and a half,
Okay.
and we got a lot of inquiries about like crypto. And our financial like person or advisor, she was like, no, there's no way we're gonna do crypto. And then, I'm not saying that she was incorrect. She's just like she just didn't trust it from what she could
Right.
read. And it's as a fiduciary, you can't really you know, it's bad business to advise on unregulated stuff. I mean, she couldn't. There's no way she would have her clients buy a CGC 9.8 Amazing Spider-Man #1, in
Yep.
2018, even though she was if she were to do that, like she probably make quite a bit of money for her clients, but it's an unregulated market. It's art, essentially.
Yeah, and
But
I get
yeah,
that side.
yeah,
You know, it's not something that you can actually hold in your hand. You can't go to the bank and pull it out. But
right.
these
It's
days,
not liquid.
people use debit cards most of the time anyways, and you can
Mhm.
connect the debit card to um your crypto.com account, whatever it is. So,
Yeah, no, it's a lot more accessible, and the technology's finally gotten to that point
absolutely.
where I feel
Yep.
comfortable. I still have to get used to like the functionality of it, and
Mhm.
like what you've really helped me out with is just kind of the the utility of it. And like, I mean, I'm always in our Discord, I'm always asking you like, what's the utility? What's the utility? Blah blah
Right.
blah. And you're probably like, damn, this guy is all about utility. Like, leave me the hell
I
alone. Just kidding.
No, no,
But
wait.
yeah,
You know what? If I had somebody that could answer questions and questions that I thought, they're not stupid, but
yeah,
just you kind of feel like they are. If I had
mhm,
somebody, I would, dude, it would help me a lot. I wouldn't have lost money.
yeah,
That
yeah,
that's the thing. So
yeah.
ask
And
away,
it
man.
I appreciate it, man. And I mean, really, you've like really educated me a lot in our Discord. And everybody's probably already in the Discord, but if you're not following Ralph on Instagram, his handles are flown123. I know you're more active on Twitter.
Twitter.
I don't have your Twitter account, unfortunately. And then kind of going back down here is our little ticker that we like to do for just for like just to kind of keep you aware of just other things other than comic books. I like to. I know we segue more into comic books and collectibles and all that, but I think it's good information to know what the whole market's doing as well, so you can kind of make decisions on what you want to spend your money on or when it's a good time. Really, I think the biggest thing with like before I get into these, it's gonna be a quick show, by the way. I think another thing people always ask like, oh, what's a good buy point? Like, should I go by the
Yeah.
last eBay sale? Best barometer ever, right? However, uh, Jizzy, you are like the most incredible person ever, and I mean that in the best way. That sounded like a diss. It's not. You're like awesome. Um, I think it's always good to know that. Okay, yeah, the last sale of Punisher 218, Richie, shout out to you. Was like I don't even know what it was, but let's say it was like 150 bucks. However, the prime rate was 6% that last sale, and
Mhm.
now it's 7.75. So, kind of what's going on in the banking industry right now, it's like it costs you if you're not paying cash and you put on a credit card or whatever, it's going to cost you more to buy
Yep.
that same, asset because the prime rate, which is the closest barometer to like unsecured debt, is higher. Um, I'll never tell people like go buy this because the show's coming out, or I think this is good spec because, blah, blah, blah. Um, I'm going to say this is the last price it sold at. This is probably the reason why it's going to, go wherever, but be aware that the overall kind of financial market is here, and it may not be a good time to buy a comic book because the cost of that comic book, you have to weigh in so many other factors. Um, anyway, that's just kind of my 2 cents about whatever. I'll shut up. And I'll kind of talk about my submission this past time. So I try and do submissions like every like month or so, and then I'll have like say 25 submissions or whatever it is, and then I'll be like I'll sell like maybe half of them, and then I'll keep two for my PC, and then other two I'll just hold on for until Prime goes back down, or like or that movie comes out and it bumps it up a little more, or I'll give it out to somebody else or whatever in the chat. Um,
That
and
was
thank
actually
you, Ron.
my question is when you're
Yeah,
submitting these books, is the thought to keep a handful, puts them up on eBay, or like you said, you just sit on them until the right time to sell.
it's kind of a combination of what you just said. So
Mhm,
it's the majority of the ones I'm doing lately. It's
mhm.
like I'm probably gonna sell them right away because,
Okay.
and I'll tell you this: anyone who's curious of, I hope this shows more of like obviously unboxings are fun, but also, excuse me, the nice thing about now is that you don't have to wait 3 months until your books get back into modern,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
You can, let's say, oh, I don't know, you anticipate a trailer coming out because there's an announcement made for for Spider-Man or whatever, the second
Mhm.
trailer. And you're like, oh shoot, I bet you that Spider-Punk is going to show up in this trailer. You don't have to do it now. You can kind of time it to where, let's say that the trailer comes out in like a month. Because it costs so much to submit comic books, um, you can wait like 2 weeks from now, and then send them out like a week, and then they log them in within like 3 days or whatever, and then they'll grade it within 5 days. I mean, I
Yeah,
submitted
which is crazy.
10 books, dude, and like they're already in grading encapsulation, like for like literally 5 days later. um, and then by the time they get back to me, the trailer is going to be up that previous Sunday, and I can either list it that day, I get them back, or I can wait till the trailer comes out and then list them on eBay for $1. Um, and then
And just let it rip,
go from
see where
just
it sells.
just
Yeah.
let it ride, man. Because I mean, the
Mhm.
rule of thumb is like, the highest point is like when the trailer comes out. Like literally, you should
Yeah.
just list it that day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, what's your strategy as far as like CGC? Like, I know you don't
Um,
submit as much as me, but
yeah, like I was telling you last time, I'm not submitting as much spec wise. There's not really much. I mean, there is Marvel stuff that you can dig for, but right
yeah,
now it's mostly the Star Wars stuff, and I know
cool.
Drizzy is big on that too. So I'm kind of
Hmm.
keeping my ear to the street and just watching these shows and rewatching Rebels and that sort of thing, just to pick up
Yeah,
on
dude.
breadcrumbs here and there.
Yeah.
Like the Mandalorian. I know that first episode, not too many people were they people mentioned that it was a bit slow, but dude, if you're watching Rebels and you caught the Purgos right away, that those are
Boom.
like this, yeah, exactly. You spec on that.
Yeah.
But I mean, once I send these books off to Chungi, I'll see what
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
I'll get your advice on it.
Cool, man. Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, I'll get into these in a second. Everyone's like, "Shut up, dude! Just like get into damn books." I want to see. Um, I would pre-pack my books like 25, and then I would send them off, and like I had this like system, like send this off January 13th, or send this off like whatever. And then
Yeah.
when everything and when things kind of started to like when the turnaround times were like a lot slower, I
Hmm.
was like, maybe I should reevaluate. And so I went through 75 books,
Shit.
and stop me if I've said this story before, but I went through 75 books, and then I took out like 40 of them because I'm like,
Okay.
this is dead spec. Why did I grade this book? Like,
Mm.
I'm wasting, potentially $22 a book, and even if I get 9.8, I'm not gonna get my money back, or very close
Right.
to, or very little close to it, or whatever. So that was one thing. And then I did like a 25 book submission, got it out, and whatever. And this submission was when the DC news came out.
Okay.
I didn't submit them like initially because I found a couple books on my hunt about like 2 weeks after DC
Okay.
news came out. So I sent these out. I want to say I sent these out 10 days ago,
Okay.
and I got them back like 2 days ago. Super quick.
Dude, that's that's nuts, man.
And bro, I live in like,
Other
southern
Seattle,
Alaska.
right?
I live in Seattle, right? Everyone thinks it's fucking Alaska over here, but and to go to Florida, I mean, like it took like 2 or 3 days, but like, bro, literally, like anyone's curious about like, should I submit my CGC books? They receive. I sent 25 books last Friday. They someone picked them up yesterday, and they got logged in today. I I expect them to come back with grades next Wednesday. Like
Yeah, for
yeah.
the people that flip, that's dude, that's got to be like super helpful, right? Getting
Yeah,
those
I
books
mean,
in that quick.
yeah, dude, seriously. And like, even if you're doing like silver, bronze, or I don't know about silver, but bronze, like they've actually reduced from like 60 day, or I know it was like 283 to like 90, which isn't bad.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. All right. Well, I know you guys are all here to not listen to us talk about crypto and prime rate. So we're gonna get into the CGC
Let's get
boxing.
into it. Yeah.
And I know you got to get back to family life and all that stuff. So I'll keep this quick.
Yeah, man. I'm a dad, and he's up.
All right. Well, all right. We'll get this done real quick, bro. I want to thank everybody for watching. We got 10 live today. Just a chill kind of Thursday. I know all your guys' brackets are busted because I know mine is, and I'm the best.
Mine's completely went to shit, and the first day is not even over. I think midday it was already done. So
I know, man. I didn't even watch that game. I was watching Arkansas, I think, and then the first game. Whatever it was
Furman. Was it the Furman?
Furman, yeah, the Furman game. Yeah. So we got Authority number 1. This is obviously I actually found this book like about a week after, and no one cares about your books, Pickles Nichols. And then that's my buddy Jason, the guy I do.
What up, man?
So I found this book actually at an LCS. Like they had it priced at $3. I was like, that's not, it looks pretty good. I pressed it out. I found this after the DC news came out. Obviously, first full team app of the Authority, Jenny Sparks, James Gunn. Oddly enough, is actually going to make this into a series. It was a Wildstorm property before,
okay,
and now I'm pretty excited. This book was one of my favorite Wildstorm properties. I wasn't actually into the first run. I was into the Mark Millar number 13 through I think it was 25 or 30. But I had like 2 sets of it. And I was lucky enough to find this guy. It's a very different type of I don't know you compare it to, but there's a crazy amount of it's basically like it's like JLA for Wildstorm, I guess you could say.
okay.
But
Yeah,
did you read this book?
I haven't, but
okay.
when the news came out, I heard a lot of people comparing this to the Guardians in the sense that this was the kind of like not the oddball, but people didn't see this one coming, and so this can kind of be somewhat like Guardians, where people weren't interested in Guardians and it kind of blew up. Maybe not too many people. Well, I would say people that really aren't into comics don't really know about the Authority, but once this comes out in a movie or series, this might blow up just as big as Guardians.
Yeah, I mean, like 100% spot on for sure. And yeah, Wildstorm's owned by DC. What's crazy about that, Jizzy, was when Wildstorm got bought out by DC, I was like, I'm not reading anymore Wildstorm. I thought it was like corporate America, blah blah blah. And yeah, I was like a kid. I was like a junior in high school when in '98. Was I junior in high school? Junior, sophomore, whatever. But yeah, so all right. Well, we're hoping for a 9.8. I'm probably gonna sell this because I already have a copy of it.
Okay.
And let's see what we got.
Yes. So you found this in a comic shop?
Yeah, I found a comic shop.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
this book came out in May of 1999.
Did you press it?
I pressed it. Yeah, I pressed it.
Okay.
Yeah, is that right? Anyway, I don't know if this came out. I thought this came out earlier than 99. I think. Oh shoot, we have this. This might be mislabeled, but regardless, it's the first Authority from whatever. So
nice one.
Thanks, man. All right, moving on to the next one. So Contest of Champions. Number 1, this is our first appearance of White Fox. This is another one of my like Eleanor's. I just cannot get a 9.8 out of this book. There's multiple different covers of this book, but I picked this one because it was Scotty Young, and
he's got his following, right?
Definitely has his following, right? It was the first appearance of a book. I bought this for like I want to say $5 or $10. I want to say I bought this off Big Leg, but I can't remember. I'm hoping for a 9.8. I'd probably hold it if it's 9.8. If it's not a 9.8, I'll probably sell it. But we'll take a look real quick. And I know the grades of these, so it's not really a mystery to me. But I'm one of those guys that just reads the grades when they come out. So
it's a mystery to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I got 9.6. And again, I just can't get a 9.8 out of this book. It's like it's so annoying. But
Can you tell? Do you know why it's not a 9.8? Can you look at the book and see and tell why they gave you that 9.6?
I mean, there's tiny color rub on the corners, but I mean, other than that, like I could probably resub it, but I'm not going to.
Mm.
It's just I don't know, man. CGC. So I'll say this too: if you're oh sweet, the turnarounds are coming down. They're also, I feel, grading pretty hard. Like they're grading a lot tougher than before. So be cognizant of that as well. Like if you're like I have to get 9.8 or nothing. And I would do this. I would submit 25 books and request 9.8s. That's the only thing you can do. So
Yeah, I think I heard Red Hood say on another show that if there's any bit of like a speck of white in any of the corners on a modern, that they're just dinging that right away and not giving it a
huh.
9.8. So
What's something to think about? I mean, it's it's I think I should probably buy that CGC grading book. I think it'd be a
mhm.
good investment. I think we as collectors, like, we have to be smarter and we have to actually read things and not just watch TikTok videos that are 30 seconds. We should really, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
um, again, just because things are getting expensive, man. Uh, so next one is this is kind of a PC book for me. It's first Wetworks, not Networks. Wildcats #2. Classic, like mid-90s book. Jim Lee. It's a holofoil. It's like 90s, like all the way. You ever had this book before? Did you read Wildcats back in the day?
No.
No.
Uh-uh.
Wetworks was like every Filipino, like back in the 90s, like Portacio was he was a Wetworks. I can't remember if he did like the whole series, but I know he definitely like that was kind of like his I want to say Mona Lisa, but like his coming out party. And
Okay.
I don't know if
It's an
anyone
image
knows this
book, right?
Image book. It's like one of their
Okay.
first Image titles. If I don't know if you guys know this in the chat, but like Filipino artists, like comics are huge in the Philippines. I don't think that's very well known. But they're like insane. There's cons that people go to from other countries because they know it's like they're bringing like really good artists and like just talent. And the hot artist in the Philippines is Miko Soyan.
Mhm.
And I mean I think he's a wonderful artist. His art's very different, and it's when and I always talk about this in the shows on Mondays, like when there's a famous Filipino, like he's all ours. Like we latch on to him. And
Manny
we'll like
Pacquiao, right?
Manny Pacquiao, dude, like there's this infamous
Yeah.
story where like so the story, I don't know if you hear, but like when Manny Pacquiao fought, there was no crime in the Philippines.
Yeah, I did. I did hear this story.
Yeah, yeah. So like there's another story where he won, like I think he beat De La Hoya. That was like his coming out party, right?
Mhm.
Um Someone was so excited that they died of a heart attack.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
like
didn't hear that one.
Philippines isn't like the richest country in the world. So what they do is they have these like watch parties,
Okay.
and it's like a concert, especially with Manny. And someone in Manila was at a watch party, and it's like hella humid and like hot. It's outside, and they were so just struck with excitement that like yeah, they freaking died.
Damn.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, really I don't know, man, but that's it's just thing. That's Filipinos are.
I mean, you
Anyway,
can't control excitement, right?
I know,
Jeez.
but it's just crazy. But anyway, so here's this guy, and this is an old comic book too, just a FYI. But yeah, 9.8.
Nice.
Yeah,
Congrats, man.
thank you. I don't think I pressed this one either, which was even weirder. I kind of took a look at it. I was like, I don't think I
That
can
was a
make this any.
newsstand, right? Was that newsstand?
No, it's not a newsstand. There's a
Oh, okay.
newsstand it's all white, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Okay, next one. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, Kanan #12.
Okay.
First appearance or cameo, whatever you want to call it, of the Grand Inquisitor.
Yep.
We were just talking about Star Wars spec. I know this is kind of
Mhm.
old school Star Wars spec, but it's a last issue, Kanan 12 or the Kanan series. I
Well,
bought this for
crap.
$20. I think it sells for like $100 98. I'm not really sure. I I feel like it's probably like the best Mark Brooks cover of the whole series. It just kind of pops out to me. But I'll wait for a 98 on this guy, and let's see what we got. I got this whole presentation of like how to do CGC 98 from Comic Man Andy. If you watch his unboxing shows, this is how he does it. I think it's kind of cool. But anyway, woohoo,
Sweet,
9.8.
man.
Yeah.
Nice.
These next ones are just, I think they're not, I don't think I'm going to sell the next ones, but okay. Yeah. All right. Add back to the stream. Okay. What's next? All right. Static Season 1. This is the foil one. So when the DC news came out, like I was always kind of a Static fan, but when that Dakota series came out and that 1 in 100 that Trey keeps,
Yeah.
Anyway, the 1 in 100, which I think could be cover of the year. Static is just, I've always like been intrigued with him, and so I started buying up all the old stuff.
He's got that cult following, right?
Yeah, and it sucks though, because like if you look at like kind of the history, it's always like, okay, other than the main one back in the early 90s, it's always like a 1 through 5 miniseries. He never gets like a continuous kind of like thing, right? Man, if you guys aren't,
He doesn't have an ongoing at all?
No, it's always like this Static Season 1. It was only 1 through 5. The current one, the Dakota one, it's like, I think it's a miniseries as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I mean, it's a really weird, like, I don't know. It's just really weird. But there's one, he was in the New 52. That was only like a 10-issue series. There's another one in 2000. It was like a 5-issue series. So I mean, I think he's like, I know, I hate to say like he is this, but to me, he's kind of the Miles Morales of DC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying Miles is pretty huge though. He could be the Miles.
It's like, no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I totally see what you're talking about and what you're saying. He can be the Miles of the DC EU. He has the following. I guess it's just a matter of getting everyone on board with it.
Yeah.
Because we all love him. But I guess it's just like I said, just bringing everybody on board.
Yeah, I mean, the way that he's kind of like, when I read the book, I'm like, he has like the kind of cool factor, and he's a smart kid, and he's not necessarily the Flash, but he has kind of those tendencies. Probably when I read it more, I kind of get into kind of like the key issues in the earlier series, I may change my opinion, but it's just so reminiscent of like Miles whenever I read it. But I got this book for like $5 because it's just a foil cover, but I thought it popped because of the colors and all that. And I'm not a big foil fan. I'm a chrome fan, but the foil is like, I don't know, it pops. But
was this the ratio, or is that just the cover?
This is just cover A, I believe, right?
Oh, okay.
In the chat, if I'm incorrect, then let me know. But I got this. So this came out in 2021. I don't think it's a ratio, but this next one, it's the black and white Virgin sketch cover. This is a 1 per store.
Okay.
This is it's and Oliver Copiel did this one. He's the same dude that did the 1 in 100.
Yeah.
I got that 9.8.
Yeah, that's nice.
So these don't go for a ton online. I just was like, I was having FOMO with that 1 in 100 that came out, and I was like, screw it. I'm gonna look back at the older books. And I was like, man, that's cool. I'll get that one. And it was like, an eighth of the price, right? So
you couldn't find it anywhere, right? That 1 in 100. It was kind of a ghost right away.
No, I can't remember if we were like still on like, or if we were kind of talking or whatever. But Trey was saying on a group text or group messaging, like he was like, sample size, right? Pretty small. However, he was saying like, he's talked with like 5 or 6 different LCSs, and none of them ordered 100 copies of Static Dakota, right? So
definitely not.
I think the one thing with that 1 in 100 though, that could kind of hurt it is it's not like there's the regular cover and then the foil 1/100. That's virgin.
Yeah. I
That
don't know
couldn't hurt it,
why they
but
do
I don't
that.
know. I don't know either, but there's that too. All right, so last but not least, we got my favorite Marvel character, Swordmaster #1. If you guys haven't watched me and Pickles Nichols show or show we did a few weeks ago, I'm very bullish on Swordmaster just because of the from a reading standpoint, from Marvel potential, and just with the I mean, if he doesn't show up in Shang-Chi, I will definitely eat a bunch of crow. I feel like he's destined to be in that movie.
Yeah.
Or like a solo like series of some sort, taking over as the Iron Fist. That because he is the new Iron Fist, but this was definitely just a collector's kind of deal for me. I was gonna give it away if we had enough people in the chat, or in the show today, but unfortunately we don't have enough. But let's see what we got. Let's see here. 9.6. Yeah. These ones are kind of there's a little bit of color rub on if
back.
you can't on the back, but you can't
It's
even.
funny.
I'm not even gonna try and put it out there, but there's color rub.
It's funny you bring up those John Tyler Christopher action figure variants. I was looking at
Yeah.
the Thrawn uh,
Yeah.
action figures. Dude, I was kind of feeling some FOMO on some of the ratio variants for his miniseries, and that action fig variant is going for like over well, I think there's a couple or between 70 and $80, but
Mhm.
most of them are over $100 already.
Dude, the what is it? There's an animation 1 in 10. I had that for
Yeah.
the longest time. I tried cracking it, and I actually went from a 9.6 to a 9.2. I don't know what I did.
Damn.
I was so mad at it, but you know what
There's
though? I sent a CBCS because I had to get the signature verified. That's right. Yeah, but what were you
there's
gonna say?
there's a really nice 1 in 25. I think it's in Albuquerque. Um,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
dude, it's like mostly black, but I think there's Thrawn's on the cover, and I forget who else is on there, but that's the one that I was looking for that one, but I think there's only one or two on eBay, and one's like in this huge set um, of books for that series that I think they're priced at over 1,000. But that's the one I've been looking for a while. I can't find it anywhere.
Damn, dude. Yeah, it's and Thrawn, I feel like, if you want to talk about like, future spec or like, a pretty good property to put your money towards, like I wouldn't if I had a Thrawn book right now. I mean, the way that and Jizzy, hopefully like one of these days you'll join the show on Monday because I know you're a total expert in Star Wars compared to me or Ralph or whomever. That's such a key like character, aside from the normal like Skywalker saga that we're used to.
Yeah, I mean his first appearance is like nuts already, but all these variants, I mean I have the miniseries, but I kind of want to collect the ratios, but those
Yeah,
are just like going crazy too. So,
yeah, that Matina, or is it
oh yeah,
Matina?
the 1 in 50. That one's
Yeah,
yeah, that's too rich for my blood.
yeah, yeah. You are not. You stop it right there, Jizzy. You stop talking about yourself that way. Um. Anyway, that's pretty much the end of our show. Yeah, quick 33-minute show. I think last time we went for a little bit longer, but we were just having a good time and all that.
Yeah, always a
I
good time.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming through and joining us. I think it's pretty much everyone in the Discord. Otherwise, I would put the Discord link up there. But
Speaking of the Discord, we're so
yeah,
close to 400 people in the Discord. So everybody in the chat, send those invites out and let's get over 100 in that OTR Discord. We're super close.
yeah, for sure. And me being like the old man I am, like people are like, man, like how long you been doing Discord for? Like not even like posting stuff, but just like navigating stuff. Like I literally downloaded it in December, like December, November. I've never used Discord before. Like it was one of those technologies. I'm like, no way, man. I'll do instant messenger before I ever do Discord, whatever, like, blah, blah, blah.
It's
But
easy though, right? It's not too difficult.
the only thing that's hard, it's like anything that you set up, right? Like you just
Right.
have to if you don't listen to like, let's say Pokemon, like you just have no interest, just shut it off. But I didn't realize that you couldn't just shut off something. But the plethora of information that I get from not only the Discord that we're in, the OTR Discord, but like there's like it's just nice to have information. Like I use it for my networking for like my fraternity
Yeah.
brothers or whatever. So and there's games too, that type of thing. Anyway, I think we're probably preaching to the choir in this chat, but we are trying to grow it, help grow the Discord and it's just like it's almost just like it's like a fun park of information in that Discord.
Yep.
And I think
100%.
like I want to get more into. I was a Phi Gamma Delta at Washington State University. Go Cougs. Jizzy, were you in a fraternity? Ralph, were you in a frat?
No, I
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah, I was. It was funny. I was like, I remember joining the frat, and like I was like probably $1.25 soaking wet, and I was scared. Like every day, I was like, because I
Did you
didn't
get
know what
hazed?
to.
Yeah,
So not really. Nah, I mean like,
you plead the
nah,
fifth.
I mean, no, I plead the fifth. But when I became like a junior, there's this award they give to like the meanest senior or like the meanest upperclassman, and like it's like a wall of like these meatheads, and then me, I won it one year. Oh, DU, okay, cool. They were our neighbors. I have not a bunch, but I have like 3 buddies that were Delta Upsilon next door, so that's pretty cool, man. But anyway, any last thoughts? Any more? Who do you got winning the whole tournament? By the way,
I honestly, it was a toss up. I had Alabama and was it Kansas? I had Alabama and Kansas. I
yeah,
know Kansas won last year, and I can't recall a team winning back to back, but I was kind of
Florida,
just going. Oh, Florida did. Okay, but
yeah,
I was just trying to go for points,
hmm
because I'm in a few different brackets. So I
yeah,
just figured I'll just get I'll go as much chalk as I possibly can to collect points, and if I pick the winner, then I win some money. So
yeah. I this is the most random year. Like anybody could honestly win it. Like there was no clear winner except for I. In my heart, I think Houston's gonna win the whole thing because they have Calvin Sampson. He's like, he just knows what he's doing. Um, and I feel like Houston is like men against boys, that kind of like thing.
are they a
Um,
dark horse or is it just overall favorite?
I think they were. It was shocking to commentators that they weren't the number 1 overall seed,
Okay.
and that Alabama got the number 1 overall seed. I think you could go either way, but like, dude, I think it's Houston, man. Like they're upperclassmen. They've been playing for a long time. Sasser is like a badass. I really want Gonzaga to win because there was like Gonzaga. So I was at Wazoo, which is on the eastern part of Washington. Like we're like right on the tip of Idaho, and up north is Gonzaga. And
Okay.
so the Gonzaga. So I went to like Wazoo was like a party school. It was like Chico State basically,
Okay.
and we're like the Chico State of like of out of California, right? So
You had a buddy who went
um
to Chico, so I'm well aware of that being a
yeah,
party school.
yeah. Playboy used to have like top 10 party schools like every year. They used to put a list out, and one year they put an asterisk and it said Washington State and Washington State and was it Washington State and Chico State have been removed from this list because this is an amateur list and they are considered professionals. It was like the best like shout out ever. So like Gonzaga, like my Gonzaga friends would always come down for like the games, or like they didn't have football teams, so they always come down for football games. Every single one of my Gonzaga friends that came down to Wazoo would either go to detox, they were lost for the weekend, or just because they would try to keep up with us. And it's like, no,
They
like
couldn't.
this is Wazoo, man. Like you can't keep
Yeah.
up with us. So, and then my nephew, he's like a hardcore like Gonzaga fan. Like when they lost the NCAA like championship, like the first quarter or whatever it was, or the first half, he like went to his room and like he sincerely like cried. He was so sad. And so I roll with him and all that. But oh
Gonzaga
man, Nick.
Gonzaga's always been that team that just can't get over the hump, right? I remember with Adam Morrison, it was the same thing. They've always had really good shooting teams, but when it comes to the tournament, they just seem to. I mean, it sucks because they're kids, but they just seem to choke.
Yeah, they play, so they get kind of a rough gambit because like St. Mary's I thought was a really good team this year too, or was it? I can't say Mary's, but West Coast Conference it gets kind of a bad rap because they're a smaller division.
Yeah,
But dude, Gonzaga's been to the tournament 2 years in a row. I mean,
absolutely.
there's no other school that's ever done that, and they get a bad rap because they're in like a low level conference, but they play like. I mean, they opened the year with like at Michigan State, like on a helicopter or like on an air carrier. They did that
Oh, that's
game,
right.
and
Yeah,
they played Houston. They played Arkansas. Like their non-conference schedule is like up there. They do that
tough.
on purpose. Um, but they have a really good job at like recruiting like transfers, and it's like a really small community. I mean, it's all they have up there, but
Mm.
it's I don't know. I can't think of another school that's been like a low level conference to be that successful over a very long period of time.
John
Um,
Stockton went to Gonzaga, right? Or
yeah,
yeah,
he
right.
still lives in Spokane, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. Nick, thanks for coming through. If you guys aren't following Nick's Kicks and Comics, I love watching Nick's shows because I have YouTube kind of open. I'll like during the day, like he'll go on like at 11 o'clock Pacific time, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
shit, I'm a roll on that. Like, might as well. We were talking about some financial stuff in the beginning, and then we did our opening kind of midway through. So cast a rewind, man, and all that. But yeah, I guess that's the end of our show. If you guys aren't subscribed, which I think all of you are, thank you for subscribing. Hit that like button, all that stuff, and
Thumbs up.
thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up. And we'll see you on Monday on OTR, and then I'll see you guys on Sunday with that jackass Jason, who's probably left. Probably went back to work. And Ralph, thanks again for joining.
No, thank
And
you for having me on.
yeah, man, we'll see you next time.